Welcome back guys, Amar here from Magic Coding, and in this video we're looking at our loops. So let's jump right into it. Let's say for example you want to run one function or one line of code 10 times. The first thing that pops into your mind will be print this and then copy it and paste it 10 times. Now this is where our loops come in handy, where you can basically do this but only in one line. To do a for loop, and the most popular for loop is called for, then open parentheses, then you can put the integer I, which is equal to 0, semicolon, then the condition if I is less than 10, and then what will happen to exit that condition out. So let me explain that one more time. First you type in for, then you open up the brackets, then you say integer I equals to 0. Now here we will initialize our I. You can always create integer I here and then use that I if you need to use it somewhere around your script. But in most cases you will just use a random character, which will be I, J, K most of the times, and then we're setting that our I equals to 0. Then we are checking for the conditional statement if I is less than 10. If this is true, we're gonna run, so we're gonna print our I, for example, and then we're gonna add 1 to our I. So this I++, so I++ is equal to I equals to I plus 1. Like, the only thing you have to remember about I++ is I++ means it's gonna increment our I by 1. That's all. But this is like a shortcut to this, which is even more nicer than typing it like this, so I++ will do it. So right now, if I go back to Unity and click play, you can see that our I will be typed 10 times, so from 0 to 9. So come on, please, if I click play, bam, 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 you can see from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if I go, it's calling to this print over here. This is basically our for loop, and it's gonna come in handy later on. The next for loop, I'm going to comment this out, that we have is a while loop. So this while loop will do something while this here is true. So we have the statement over here and the block of code goes here. Now to do the exact same thing that we did here, what are we going to do is we're going to create our integer I. So int I equals to 0, semicolon, and here we're going to check if I is less than 10, and then here we're going to print our I, semicolon, and we have to increment our I. Now let me explain. While loop will be run until this becomes false. If this never becomes false, this will crash. So if we don't have I++, if we don't increment our I++, then this will crash because 0 is forever, ever lower than 10. So this is a must to have I++, because if you don't have it, you can try it on your own. If you don't have it, it's just gonna crash your Unity and you will have to open it once again. So if I go back to here, click play, you're gonna see the same outcome. So let me clear and then play again. You're gonna see the exact same outcome. Now one thing I want to mention why it starts from 0 is because our I is 0. If I make our I equals to 1, and then if I say if I is less or equals to 10, then it's going to go from 1 to 10 because 10 is not lower than 10. So if I clear this now, we're going to get from 1 to 10. Now it doesn't matter. What matters is this is actually run 10 times. So this is a while loop, and what is the difference? Like here, there is no difference. Just it depends on the context where you're going to use what kind of loop. So if you want to call out the function multiple times, you're just going to add for loop. But if you want to check, basically, let's say, for example, you want to spawn one enemy here. Well, let me add here, one enemy here, the second enemy here, and third enemy here. And you're adding a random spawner. And now what happens is that the same enemy spawns at the same location. What can you do is you can make a while loop that will check as long as it doesn't hit your first enemy, it's gonna switch until it gets to some point. What does this mean? This means if I is overlapping with 2, 2 will change the position until it's not overlapping with 1, and then that will happen same for the 3. So if 3 overlaps with 1, it's going to change the position to 2. If it's overlapping with 2, it's going to change position to 3, and so on and so forth. That is just like a rough example. I don't have anything better in mind that I set up, but in the end, it's depending on the context, same as if and switch statement. Also, what we have is a do while loop. So we have to do something and then check while that is not true. So let's go ahead and set and have the same principle. I mean the same example. I1 equals to 0. Do print. So do print I. So do print I and say I plus plus semicolon, and as long as our I is less than 10, we are gonna do it. So what's this? What's do while and what's while loop? You just saw a while loop, what it does. Do while loop is 100% the same, except it first will do the thing and then check for the condition. So right now, if I just clear this out and press play, nothing will happen. I mean, the same exact thing will happen. But for example, if I say that my I is 100, this will do thing and then check for the condition. So if I click play, we're gonna see that 100 being printed, because as I said before, it first does something and then checks for the thing. So this is really great when you want to, let's say for example, initialize at least one enemy, but you're checking if they are less than, if maybe the player HP is less than 1. Only then you want to call at least one enemy, and then if player HP is less than 2, because if it's less than 1, he means it's dead. Like, that is just some dumb explanation, but you just understand what a do while loop is. So that will be same as in cartoons. So when you watch a cartoon, until he looks down, he will not fall, but once he looks, then it's gonna do and it's gonna fall. As if I do this here, for example, that will not happen. So let me remove this. Let me add here and actually here, not removing. And if I say my int here is 100, you will see this will not be printed. So let me go back to Unity. Let's remove this one, close, click play. You're gonna see nothing, because this is just a while loop. This first checks, then it does something, and we can see that this is going to happen same as for the 4. So if I remove it and I, for example, say that my integer is 100, I'm gonna click play, and we are not gonna see being printed. So I will not get printed because the condition is not met. So yeah, guys, that will be basically it for our for loops. That is everything I want to cover for this video. Hope you like it, and I will see you in the next one.